Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome to our press conference here in the European Commission following today's EU-UK Joint Committee meeting. I'm joined in the press room by Vice President Šefčovič, who is the EU's co-chair of the Joint Committee, and he will walk you through today's meeting. Just to start off with apologies for the late beginning of this evening's meeting. The Joint Committee meeting itself ran over. And then just to say as well that we have published a joint statement with the UK, which is available online, together with a series of fact sheets from our side here in the European Commission, covering the various different aspects of the talks. So with that, over to you, Vice President.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Together with UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, we have just concluded our 9th meeting of the EU-UK Joint Committee on the implementation of the Withdrawal Agreement. It was a good moment to assess where we are, as a lot has happened since our last Joint Committee more than 8 months ago. We have intensified our talks, particularly on ways to facilitate the implementation of the protocol on Northern Ireland. To show we are serious, the Commission presented a robust package of far-reaching, impactful and durable solutions with the core purpose of benefiting the people and businesses in Northern Ireland. The Commission also delivered on medicines by tabling legislative proposals to ensure that everyone in Northern Ireland has access to the same medicine at the same time as in the rest of the United Kingdom. And my objective remains the same: to provide Northern Ireland and all stakeholders on the ground with the stability, predictability and opportunities stemming from the protocol. Ultimately, this is the only way to protect the hard-earned gains of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement in all its dimensions, while avoiding a hard border on the island of Ireland and minimizing disruptions caused by Brexit without compromising the integrity of the EU's single market. Let me walk you through what we discussed today, beginning with the issue of citizens' rights, the Commission's top priority from day one. I reiterated that protecting citizens' rights remained of paramount importance, and this is indeed the case for most aspects. However, I expressed concerns of the two outstanding issues or implementations deficiencies, if you will. The loss of residence status if an EU citizen does not apply in time to progress from pre-settled to settled status, and the lack of legal certainty for EU citizens with a new residence status as to whether their rights are guaranteed by the Withdrawal Agreement or by UK immigration law. I had to regret the UK's position on both issues so far, and I will consider our next steps. Turning to the protocol on Northern Ireland. Here we took stock of the intensified talks that have taken place over the last few months. In short, I would describe them as neither breakthrough nor a breakdown. So hard work continues. With Liz Truss, we are determined to keep our eyes on the ball, to find durable solutions for the benefit of Northern Ireland. You will have seen our joint statement to that effect. My team will continue to work flat out on the outstanding issues within the protocol, while particularly building on the far-reaching solutions that the EU presented to facilitate the implementation of the protocol. These solutions offer remarkable simplification and a big permanent impact on the ground. My continued outreach to Northern Irish businesses, civil society and institutional actors has reassured me that we should stay laser-focused on practical solutions, particularly on the area of customs and the movement of sanitary and phytosanitary goods. I can see that all stakeholders want us to succeed, and this also remains the EU's intention. Today's current challenging times call more than ever before for a strong partnership between the European Union and the United Kingdom.
Thank you very much, Vice President. I'll now take a few questions. Now, given the late starting time, I'm afraid we'll only be able to take a few short questions, but we will have a technical briefing afterwards where we can answer your questions. Nick.
Thanks, Dan. Hello, Mr. Šefčovič. Good to see you. In your remarks just there on citizens' rights, you said that you regretted the UK's position and you'll consider your next steps. Are you talking about possibility of dispute settlement proceedings there, potentially bringing a case against the UK? And on the Northern Ireland Protocol, there was some sort of talk before this week and leading up to this joint committee that possibly there might be an agreement on customs, something to take the talks into the sort of the quieter Northern Ireland election period with a bit of impetus behind them. Obviously that hasn't really materialised. Why not, and are you disappointed by that?
Thank you very much, Nick, for the question. I think that if it comes to the citizens' rights, I think we both agreed this afternoon that we already went really long way, and I think this was only correct thing to do, because we are indeed speaking about the millions of people, their livelihoods, their families, their individual destiny, and I think it was commitment from both of us that we will do our utmost for the UK nationals staying in the EU and for the EU citizens staying in the UK. And a lot of positive things have happened both in the UK and in the EU. But now we are in the situations that we have these two outstanding issues which are kind of putting the question mark over the progress which was achieved. Because if I put it in the simple terms, what might happen here that if you simply do not click in the precise time frame and refresh your application, you might lose your status. And of course, this might be very dramatic and difficult for a lot of people. And I think that on this one, the Independent Monitoring Authority and us have a same view. If it comes, we had, I think, a good discussion on this issue of the so-called true and extra cohort, meaning what kind of rights would be applicable to the EU citizens residing in the UK, if it's withdrawal agreement based rights, or if these rights are stemming from the UK immigration law. And I think that the people, after that many years of discussions, negotiations, that they need the legal certainty and the clarity, because again we are talking about concrete people and we are talking about families. And to be honest, I mean, we've been putting it on different bodies which are responsible for resolving these issues, and my suggestion was that again the specialized committee on citizens' rights should look into this again. So I still believe that we can and we should find an amicable solution to this issue, and we'll be working with the UK to resolve these matters. And I hope that also our very frank and open discussion on this issue today, this afternoon, brought some new lights why we consider this to be so pertinent, so sensitive, and so crucial for EU and for all those EU citizens residing in the UK. If it comes to the second part of your question, Northern Ireland Protocol, I think today we kind of make a kind of summary of the number of meetings we had together with our UK partners. It's more than 100, and on top of it, you know that we presented already in October the set of proposals for, I would say, far-reaching solutions if it comes to simplification, if it comes different proposals how to facilitate the situation for the people in Northern Ireland. And indeed, if it comes to customs, I think that's the area where I think we understand each other in more than in other areas, and I think that with the right focus on this issue, we'll be able to move forward. Do we need more time? Apparently, this is the case. We are progressing, and I'm very glad about it, and I appreciate it if it comes to the access to IT databases, to the data sharing, and I'm glad that after more than a year of waiting for this, this is finally materializing, and I hope that this would pave the way to further discussions on how can we resolve quite some of the outstanding issues. We've been discussing the trusted trader scheme. Again, we proposed also lots of proposals how to move forward in that direction. But what is, of course, very important for us that we can look for, I would say, drastic reduction of the customs procedures, of the checks, and if you look at the combined possibilities with our SPS and customs procedures, I think we would see that that overwhelming majority of trucks coming to Northern Ireland would pass through the express lanes or green channels. But to get there, we need very clearly the safeguards. So I can come to meet the members of the European Parliament, member states, or my colleagues in the college and tell them, yeah, integrity of the single market is protected. And for that, we need more forthcoming gestures and more cooperation from our UK partners. And therefore, we agreed with the Foreign Secretary that we would keep our eyes on the ball to find these durable solutions, and therefore we are going to continue our work in that direction.
Thank you very much. Joe, over to you next.
Thank you, Dan. Sorry if my sound's not great. I'm in an office. Mr. Šefčovič, on the protocol, there seems to be some hold-up, and some people and your critics would say that you're kind of arguing over really petty issues like the strategic risk of olive oil. Why is there blockages when the EU and UK are working so well together on much bigger issues such as the Ukraine-Russia crisis? Is it the EU holding up progress on Northern Ireland, or is the UK? Could you kind of set that out categorically, please, of why we haven't had a solution now? I think it's after 8 months of talks. And then just a quick one. Do you and Liz Truss still have a positive relationship, or has that broken down over time since she first became your interlocutor? Thank you.
I think that with the Foreign Secretary, with Liz Truss, we indeed have a positive relationship. I think that we are meeting quite often. I very much appreciate her personal involvement and investment into these discussions, because I know that she, as a Foreign Secretary in this very complicated global situation, that she is prioritizing this issue, that we are in very frequent phone calls, VTCs, and also personal meetings. So my relationship with Liz Truss is excellent, and I believe that also thanks to that we'll be able to work on the outstanding issues. And I think that if we can work on such a complex challenges like the situation on the eastern Ukrainian border, and we see how beneficial, how useful it is for UK, for the EU, it just shows that indeed we are natural partners. We are strategic allies, and of course we shouldn't forget that we are major commercial and trade partners. And therefore, if it comes to putting in place and to implementing the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland, I think what is, of course, very important for us is that we stick to the agreements which we've been working on for 4 years, which we negotiated together, which we signed up to, and which been ratified by both parliaments. That's very important, to stay within the legal framework which we agreed together not so long ago. And there, what I'm always highlighting, we demonstrated, let's say, with our medicines proposals, but also with the proposals from October, we can find the flexibility. We can be very constructive, very creative to find the solutions. And I think that we extended our hand in a quite clear way. And of course, what we would very much welcome, that if you would have the reciprocal forthcoming attitude like that from the UK. So of course, I mean, some of the talks are extremely technical. But what is very important for us to say is that once we put the system how to implement the protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland in place, that it works, that the integrity of the single market is protected, that we have all the reassurances we need. And at the same time, we know how to do it in a way that it would be inobtrusive, that we would use modern technologies, and that we would minimize the disruptions which are not caused by protocol. The disruption being caused by the type of Brexit the UK government has chosen. And what we did in our negotiations was to actually find a response to that disruption, to minimize the repercussions and consequences, and the response was the protocol. And now, of course, we have to look together for the ways how to put it in operations, how to put it in practice. And that's, I have to say, it's the message which I heard from all stakeholders I was talking to last week, and that's something what we should do. And I think that Foreign Secretary and myself, we do our utmost to actually achieve that result.
Thank you very much. I'll take one final question from Jess.
Hiya. I just wanted to check. We've heard that these talks could now go on discreetly. Could you just tell us a bit about what format discussions going forward will actually take between the EU and the UK? Will they be in person between officials? And also just on deadlines, I know you don't like to talk about deadlines, but there were sort of talks around soft deadlines, end of December, end of February. But are we actually now realistically in a world where there isn't a deadline and this could go on for months, if not years?
Thank you, Jess, also for these questions. I think that the best description of the spirit with which we both are approaching the continuous discussions on all these very important topics is well reflected in our joint statement. I mean, that's very clear that with the Foreign Secretary, we will stay in touch, that our teams will redouble their efforts. We are looking what are the best formats, best schedules, best timing, best grouping of the topics, so we can actually achieve the progress required in this discussion. What would be the best sequencing of putting them on the table, and with the Foreign Secretary, we talk at least once a week, I think, over the last period, and we are going to continue to do so. So we will be in, I would say, permanent contact, in permanent touch, and our teams will, of course, continue to work. If it comes to deadlines, I think you know our position quite well. So we are not in the business in setting artificial deadlines. I mean, what we said was that we are ready to continue the talks until we see that they are conducive, they're productive, they could lead to the results, and this is our clear perception of the talks we have right now. They are pretty intense, as I said. I mean, we had more than 110 meetings over the last few months. But of course, these are not easy solution to resolve, and therefore I think our best solution to the challenge is that we would continue to work. We would focus on what is really important for the people in Northern Ireland, that we would focus on those practical issues which they are highlighting in our discussions with them, and these are customs, these are SPS formalities. This is, you know, the way how we can involve the Northern Ireland stakeholders better in the dealing of the protocol, and I think that the problems of medicine we have solved. I mean, we hear only positive reactions from operators, from business representatives, or also from the different representatives of Northern Ireland. And I think that was a clear example what we can do together, and I hope that we will find the constructive approach and good solution also for other outstanding issues.
Thank you very much, Vice President. This now concludes our press conference. Stay tuned for the technical briefing that will begin in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.